In my time in the Ontario Parliament, it was quite commonplace for foreign countries like China, Taiwan, and Israel to offer up and take elected members on all expense paid trips, junkets, to their countries, and apparently no strings attached. But there's much more. Let's remember the 2 Chinese scientists at the Winnipeg Biosecurity Lab that sort of has gone into the memory hole.
There's no reason for Ottawa to be secretive about this. We already know that they've sent Ebola virus to China and that they're working with the Chinese military scientists. This is known. What else are they hiding?
And if you're old enough to remember, like I am, the many trade junkets that Prime Ministers Mulroney, Chrétien, and even Harper all took hundreds of prominent Canadian business people to China to explore business opportunities. And while we're talking about business, let's also take a little look into the Canada-China Business Council, made up of the most powerful, most profitable Canadian businesses, and is led and has former Liberal and former Conservative ministers of the Crown running that operation. And this is not the first time CSIS has talked about foreign interference. Back in the early 1990s, the RCMP and CSIS put out a draft report on foreign involvement in our political system and our corporate businesses. It was called Project Sidewinder, but that has gone into the memory hole as well.
Our top story, buried on page 224 of the House's proposed 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, is a provision called the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. It proposes to integrate the U.S. and Israeli militaries more deeply than any 2 countries in history, including NATO allies. It was buried on page 224. Morbo wonders what is on page 225.
That's right, Morbo. The provision includes joint weapons production, bilateral research and development, AI cooperation, quantum technology, cyber, and biotech. It also includes, quote, network integration and data fusion, meaning U.S. military data becomes their military data. Israeli co-production facilities would also expand onto U.S. soil in Mississippi and Arkansas, creating American jobs tied directly to a foreign military's interests.
The U.S. has never merged military data with Britain, or France, or Germany. Page 224 says, our greatest ally goes first. 2 members of Congress who opposed this publicly lost their seats this year.
No one in Canada should ever be afraid to call themselves a Zionist. I am a Zionist.
As you can imagine, it's a pretty big honor for a simple goy from the prairies to stand before you today.
The report showed that India's Bishnoi gang has expanded its criminal network into Canada, allegedly instigating high-profile murders, political assassination, and deepening the current extortion crisis.
Get our economy firing on all cylinders, we need to quickly process economic immigration.
The report indicated that crimes committed by Indian nationals in Canada on temporary student permits skyrocketed by a whopping 8,800%.
Whenever Canada keeps a student visitor here permanently, we strike the jackpot.
From 2016 to 2024, while that country was ranked as the top source of foreign students charged with crimes.
So I would encourage those student visitors to stay in the country, and I would make the system easy and fast for them to do so.
Between 2019 and 2023, 4,000 of those international students were charged with nearly 18,000 criminal offenses.
We need younger immigrants to stay in this country.
A third of those offenses were considered serious or organized crime-related, while 97% of those crimes were considered violent. In 2024 alone, more than 13,000 criminal charges were laid against international students from India.